Assalamu alaikum, good evening, namaskar, sat sri akal to all the beautiful people of Dubai and around the world, where we are expected that UAE will romp through into the main games when they played the big boys, but they were stunned by a resurgent Kuwait in their first game by 1 wicket. To discuss, I have two captains. One is Khurram Khan, who's captain UAE, as well as I have Charvi Bhatt from the women's cricket team, who's captain the UAE women's team. So we'll take their views, what happened yesterday, and what they should do in the game going forward today. Welcome to the show, both of you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Anis bhai.
So, Khurram, I was watching the game. I thought 180 on the board, good enough, but the scales totally tilted.
Yeah, first of all, let me go back to the word you used that you expect from truth. I think it's really hard to say because it's the margin between the teams, it squeezes because less number of overs. So you do one mistake, maximum two, and you're done with the match. Either one good over, few good hits, and a batsman can get you through. Score was good, 173. I would say it's good enough to save the match, but obviously it didn't happen in the end. I would say they didn't bowl well to stop the team. Kuwait record says that obviously when we talk, we're going to talk about the records and previous history, how they performed. But it wasn't a minnow team. They were quite good. They can play cricket, and they have shown it. They played very well.
Right. Khurram says unpredictable format, shorter game, anybody can beat. Some mistakes. Charvi, tell me, what are the mistakes they made? If you had to sum up in your way and what you watched the game.
I think, if I put it in just one line and be fair, UAE failed to hold on to their nerves. You're taking the game all the way to the wire. It's gone all the way to the last ball. The least you can do after you've done everything that you have in your textbook, hold on to your nerves. And that's something that I think that they did not do. And hence they gave the game away. And it's quite disappointing to see you've brought it all the way down. It's one more ball to go and you didn't hold on to it because they gave away the boundary in the last. And that's the least that you could expect from a side with so much experience to do. I would just say that that's something that they did not do right. They did not hold on to their nerves.
All right. Khurram, I remember speaking in our first show yesterday that I told you that like winning is a habit, unfortunately, losing also becomes a habit. And you had mentioned that it might be on the back of the mind of the players. But having said that, uh, when UAE were batting, they started out well. Chirag Suri laid a great platform, but they did not finish well. By 170, they could have added extra 15 20 runs.
Definitely, 100%. As you mentioned first, it's a habit. Winning is a habit. Sometimes, if you are winning previous games, you just come back and you won a game from unexpected scenarios. And same thing when you're losing it. It's always remains back of your mind that you are losing it. 173. Yes, now we can say another 10, 15 runs could have saved, but I think they played very well. I have to say. A Kuwait team, they played very well. It's not a small target, 173. It's quite good. So I think UAE, being more experienced team, have more exposure to these games. I think they could have played better cricket. One thing, though, I think I can say, I personally feel missing was I do not see captain. Captain, he didn't bat, he didn't bowl a single over. A new captain, obviously there was pressure, but I think he has to show up somewhere. I was expecting him to bowl a few overs because he in the past he bowled very well. So on the scorecard, I don't see him, and which tells me, being a new captain, you always wanted to make others happy. Listen, don't worry, I'm here, bro. I'm gonna take that. But yeah, when it comes to decision making, I think he should have been there somewhere.
Yeah, you're right, Khurram. Charvi, I want to come to you. You have also been a captain.
I want to add to what Khurram said. And, it's funny because, as a captain, you want to become a larger group's favorite. You don't want to be the one, you don't want to be a captain who's the only one in the corner and everybody else is on the side. So you want to become everyone's favorite. So you're trying to please everybody. And in that battle, we forget the fact that we're leading a side. And there are some decisions that we have to take harshly. And I think that's probably what Rizwan CP has been the victim of, unfortunately.
But we have to give him the benefit of the doubt. It's his first game, and also an Asia Cup qualifier. So we will have to give him the benefit of the doubt. We hope that he must have learned it. But let me come to you, Charvi. Like I was mentioning to Khurram that we started off well. Chirag Suri set the platform, and as Khurram said, 173 was a good score. But in T20, on a wicket where you are defending, where there's lots of dew, that 10-15 runs would have definitely made a difference.
100%. Another 10-15 runs on the board, it would have made a huge difference. We would have probably sitting and discussing about a very different result today. But, they stuck to 173. Unfortunate for Zawar Farid and Basil Hamid, who couldn't click. A couple of more runs from their bat would have, those 10-15 runs that we talk about are so important in situations like this. We would have seen UAE win by 10 runs. That's what we would have seen the result to be. But here, Kuwait stole the show away completely. So we forget the fact that there is an opposition as well that's creating a plan on how are they going to chase this total. What I also feel didn't happen was when you have a batsman who scored 88, you should have had somebody else around 50s or 60s. That's what a good partnership is about. The others are around their 30s, and that's it. You don't have a fourth or fifth batsman who's come along and even hit 20 runs. Now, how do you create a combination where you've got somebody who supports Chirag Suri who scored 88? That's where I would stand for. Yeah.
Fair point, Charvi. I want to talk about the post-match presentation before I come to the way UAE bowlers bowled. The captain mentioned a very valid point. I don't care whether my player scores 70, 80, 60, 40. I am happy if everybody chips in with 25 and we win the game. Khurram?
I mean, yes, everybody has to chip in because this kind of format, it's very competitive. As I mentioned earlier, the smaller the overs, comes, either it's 20 or 10 overs, it reduces that gap between the teams. So in this kind of format, everybody has to chip in. Batting, I would say, yes, they batted very well. But what I can see is Bhatt is one of the best batsmen. Don't get me wrong. He's one of the best batsmen in current UAE scenario. He played around 29 balls and scored 33 runs. Rather than saying that Basil came and Kashif came, they got total 8 deliveries to play. So they scored 7 or 8 runs in those. So I think Bhatt could have, yes, if he needed more runs, that innings could have been a little, I would say 45-ish or 50 runs. Chirag played very well to support him. There has to be another innings which can complement the score. But let's see now, future games. Now I think it's a different scenario, qualifying. And I hope UAE can, and other teams do what they have to do.
Okay, but you know what? We can't let you guys so easily. Again, I want to come to you, Khurram. The point what I want to ask you, like I remember the commentators probably raising his voice to an extent that the guys are bowling too fast, not slowing down, not bowling their cutters. Because on this wicket, probably that was the need of the guy. That's what the guy who got a couple of wickets, or rather 3 wickets, he did not give pace.
I think there has to be someone telling them, since it's a new captain and the bowlers, they have to understand the slower the wicket is, you have to bowl more slower. You cannot provide pace to the batsman because on a slower wicket, the batsman is looking for the pace to work it around easily. So if you bowl at a slower pace on a slower, then it becomes really hard. Then it comes to the skills of the batsman, where he can. For me personally, if I would have been there, I would have been asking fast bowlers, especially to, just take off some pace, ball cutters, those kind of ball. If I can see the scorecard here, it's in front of me, 90 runs given by fast bowlers in 10 overs. Obviously, it's almost half. But it's only 1 wicket, I think they're sharing in 10 overs, 1 or 2. So that could have been a little bit better.
All right. Charvi, we're talking about the playing. The match was actually in our pockets. Rather, I would say that we almost had the game when that Mustafa over went for 20 runs, where he's known to bowl that fast Yorkers. And he almost UAE back into the game. But that momentum what Kuwait got was from that over. Do you say that?
Yeah, I would agree to that. Kuwait did. Yes, I would agree to that. So, they did get that momentum. And Khurram very rightly said that if we would be there on the field on any given day, given the conditions, bowl the slow ones, get your variations in. Bowling fast is a very simple mindset. The faster I bowl, the more fear will I build in the mind of the batsman. But that's not how it is. The faster you bowl, the more easier it becomes to score the runs. And a very few people understand that. And when you've got conditions of due, we've seen big teams as well make decisions where they bring in their slow bowlers, they get their fast bowlers as well to get those slow deliveries in. So that's probably the mistake that they had. Yes, Rohit Mustafa came in, made that big difference, but he also gave away 40 runs. He picked up just 1 wicket. So probably don't give him a full quota of 4 overs, judge the conditions. Probably Rizwan CP could have come in and he would have bowled in an over or two. Ahmed Raza could have completed his quota overs. Might have made a different scenario together, but I just feel that the Pacers did give away way too many. They set the momentum. It was more like decorating it on a platter. Here you go. Please go and score the runs. We're giving it to you.
Khurram, would you have given last over to Ahmed Raza? You would have taken that bait, the left-hander on batting?
I think when it comes to last overs and the number of runs they had to score, I think it was 9 or something. It's a hit or miss thing. You can't be 100% sure that who's gonna save those runs. But obviously, being a captain, you have that gut feeling. Who's your best bowler, and in those kind of conditions, who can save your match. It could be anybody's guess. I would not bet for Ahmed Raza, honestly, being a left-arm spinner, and when you have these last batsmen, they're hitter. One wrong delivery could have gone, but. I think it shouldn't have come down to the last over, honestly. If we wanted to save the games, it has to be way, in 13, 14, 15 overs, you have to set the tone there, save enough of runs, get, enough wickets, then you don't have to go to the last over. In last over, it's anybody's game. I don't think CP did the wrong thing here. It could have been anyone, and anybody's guess, as I said.
Charvi, I can't help but say that Kuwait was going ahead and then giving us an opportunity to come back. Going ahead, going and giving us an opportunity, but we did not grab that. Do you agree, Charvi?
I absolutely agree. It's more like that pendulum that keeps going back and forth. So it was like that. Now it's Kuwait's game, and then it came back to UAE's game. It went back to Kuwait's game, and it happened so many times within the span of those 20 overs. It was really amazing to see why somebody's not grabbing onto it and be like, no, we're just going to keep this to my side. Why somebody not holding on to that? And I think that's what happened throughout the game. It happened throughout the game yesterday.
Well,
so I agree.
You're right. Absolutely right. The match was so good that it went down all the way to the wire. But unfortunately, it was Kuwait who finally got the monkey off the back and beat UAE. So, Khurram, now what does UAE do? They have nothing but to win 2 games. What would you advise them in the next 2 games? Now, in 2 hours, they're taking on Singapore.
Yeah, I think the first thing is obviously, which is not easy to do, is forget whatever happens because you can't change it. Now, think about the next game. The problem here is UAE don't only have to win the game; they have to win with a margin. Because I'm thinking now, what the scenario is going to create, the 3 teams will be coming up with the same number of wins. This is what I'm thinking. Because Kuwait, they already won. They have a match in Singapore. And I think they have shown they are quite good enough team that they can beat a team like Singapore. Again, T20, but Hong Kong, again, a tough match. So now there are 3 contenders. Let's be honest. From haven't started. They lost the game. UAE lost the game. But now if UAE want to qualify, they have, this is 3, triangular now. So whoever perform well, they have to score more runs, win the bigger margin. They have to go all out. Let me tell you, they have to play aggressive cricket. You have to have a character. You cannot just set every game different character. No, you have to have a character that you're going to play aggressive and you're going to go out and trying to win the game rather than trying to, if that happened, doesn't happen. No, just go with open mind and then do the best you can. I think be aggressive. Be aggressive. That's it.
Charvi, your advice to UAE team with 2 games, and now, as Khurram said, what do you like to say?
Well, I absolutely second him. If I think I was in Rizwan CP's shoes at this point of time, like, let's go all guns blazing. Let's use every strength and every trump card that we have in our pocket, and let's go and put it out there and have the certain determination and let, at least from the body language, show we're here to win. We're going to win this game and we're going to steal it away from you. And that's the approach that they need to have. Have your right batting lineup, get all your strength cards right up there, use your best of bowlers. Don't be in the situation where I'm going to please this bowler, I'm going to please that bowler. No, the bowler's getting hit for runs. Whether it's 1 over that bowler's bowl, please change over, get somebody else on board who can pick up those wickets.
All right. So both the captains say that UAE have nothing to fear. Go for, go and play aggressive brand of cricket. And I still believe, I don't know, like Khurram said, that it's going to be a three-way, 2 matches win if Kuwait blip and UAE can still make it. But that margin, that net run rate is going to finally boil down. And that last match against Hong Kong. So we'll have to hope for the best. But thank you very much, guys. It was wonderful having you guys once again and giving your insight. And I'm sure all the fans, all of us, Khurram, Charvi, me, and everybody in UAE will be hoping that UAE will bounce back and will come back, inshallah, when we discuss tomorrow for the next game. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.